to my channel. So today we are talking about hair. We are actually talking about how to install this. This is a wig that I made with this hair from HerHairCompany. I love the curls, I love the definition of it. I actually have not brushed it at all. So what I did was just sew on the wig and just boom. I installed about 2.5 bundles of their Brazilian body wave, and I installed a lace closure in the front, if you guys can see. If you guys want details of the company itself and also links to the hair, I have everything down below. I'm not a professional wig maker, if that's a thing. Hairstylist, I'm not. So if I can do this, I think you guys can too. So yeah, let's get into the tutorial. So to begin, I'm going to need a styrofoam wig head or any other wig head, a wig cap, the hair itself. So I'm using an 18-inch, a 16-inch, and a 20-inch. And of course, a lace closure on top of that, some pins, and a curved needle and thread. I'm going to place the closure on my wig head, but I'm going to make sure that it's just a little bit over the wig cap, not directly on it, but just like a little bit over. You're gonna have to play around with the closure over here so that you can make sure you pin it down as flat on the wig as possible. I know it seems easy, but like, trust me, I really struggled with this. I found that it is easier to start adding the pins at the hairline first and then adding the pins around the rest of the closure. After that's done, I'm going to sew down the closure onto the cap. And after that, we're gonna move on to adding on the hair. So during this step, I'm gonna need a blow dryer and some hair glue. I like using the glue method just because it's way faster. Making a wig can be super time consuming, and honestly, I'm not the best at sewing, but if you're really concerned with making sure that the wig is extra secure, I would just continue with the sewing method. And actually, before I start sewing the bundles, I'm going to share my little secret to making sure the wig is a really snug fit by the time you're done. And it's literally all in this elastic band. What I usually do is sew it around the wig cap, and this just gives it a more structured form. And let me tell you guys that this makes all the difference. I already measured this around my head, so I already know that this is going to be a really good size or length for my head shape. But if you end up getting an elastic roll or something like that, just make sure you measure it around your entire head and then you just work around that. Like you guys can see, I'm only focusing on sewing the edge of the band, but then when I do get to the lace closure, I'm gonna like kind of merge them together by sewing the band on top of the lace closure, just for that extra level of security. So now onto the bundles. I'm gonna take the entire track first and kind of measure out on my head where I'd want it to start and where I'd want it to end, and then I just trim it from there. And like I said, I'm going to use the glue method. If you're using this method for the first time, it's going to take some getting used to. Just make sure you're adding a decent amount of glue. You don't want to put too much, but I realize the more that you add, the better. Yeah, so you kind of have to find like the middle ground, if that makes any sense. So now I'm just going to take my blow dryer and put it on the cool setting and dry the hair for about 30 seconds, just so we can make sure it's tacky and easier to stick. Then I take the blow dryer again and dry it onto the wig cap directly. After that, I test out the glue just to see whether the hair is stuck. I'm yanking the hair with a decent amount of force and it's barely budging, so this is how you know the glue is working. So we're just going to do this again with the next track, and I usually like placing the hair on a flat surface and then applying the glue that way. It's so much easier, but I'm kind of just doing it this way so you guys are able to see how I'm applying the glue. Also, another thing, it can get kind of messy, but the good thing about this glue is that it peels off really easily. So if you get it on your fingers or on your hair, not to worry, because it's really easy to get off once it dries. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit since I'm just repeating the same thing over and over. If you want to skip, you can, but I know it's always easier to understand something if you watch it about 2 to 3 times. Alright, so it actually looks like it's coming together, and now I'm just gonna add the second bundle because I finished the first one, and just repeat the same thing over and over. Okay, so I still have some hair left over from the second bundle, which is the 18-inch one, but I'm just gonna move on and add the 16-inch bundle just so that it can create a nice layered effect. Usually how I divide it is like a third of the 20-inch and then a third of the 18-inch and then another third of the 16-inch. When I'm near the top of the head, I try and get a feel of how many more tracks I would need just so that I can make this look as natural as possible. I'm sure you guys have seen wigs that look like really wiggy, and they're basically really thick at the top of the head, and this just looks unnatural and it's just so obvious that it's a wig. But to avoid that, we're just going to open up the closure and just gauge how many more tracks you would need. So it's looking pretty good, and I'm guessing I would need about 2 to 3 more tracks. I'm just going to keep going until I get to the closure, and then I'll begin sewing the last track. So I'm just going to keep going until I get to the closure, and then instead of using the glue method, I'll sew the last track onto the closure, just because I mean we don't want to use the glue method and then like it slips off or like something happens, because I guess tugging, that's this section the most, so you just want to make sure it's extra secure. Also, I didn't mention that every time I finish sewing anything, I always have to tie a knot at the end. It might be obvious, but I don't know, I'm just gonna put it out there, just, you know, just in case. We don't want tracks falling and all that, so you just have to make sure it's secure. And I feel like I've been saying secure like 90 times during this video, but I mean, that's the whole point with wigs, you know, you have to make sure no one snatches it or like your tracks don't fall, because yo, it's not a good look. Alright, yay! So we're finally done. So all I'm gonna do now is just cut out the wig cap that's right under the lace closure. And then I'm just gonna customize the wig a little bit. I'm so sorry if I couldn't get the footage. Mine literally ran out of space and it was like 4 in the morning. And yeah, if you do want a detailed video on how I customize it, please let me know in the comments. But other than that, it's pretty much done. I hope this video was super helpful for those of you who are trying to start getting into this whole wig game. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!